Hello and welcome to another video. This video is a 6-step program that will allow you to understand why you couldn't reach your goals yet. It will show you how you can adjust them. And I made this video because some of my clients face the same issues over and over again, and I could see that there's a tendency for people to do exactly the same. Now, if I want to show you the 6 steps, then you need to be aware of this one first, because it's not because they're lazy and they're not able to reach their goal. It's not because you are lazy to reach your goal. That's most of the time not the case. My name is Patricia and I'm a life coach. I help people to raise their awareness towards their goal, towards their life goals. Now, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, then please make sure to do so, and then I would say you start. What I want to mention as number one is actually why is it so important to have any goals at all. It could be that we just live and it would be fine, right? Well, it's like this. If you have goals in life and if you're following your vision, if you're following your body, mind and soul kind of plan, then you're ready to make a step forward. You are pleasing yourself, you're happy with yourself, you can see progress, you can see that your transformation is going on, you can see that it motivates you, it gives you a big push. And I believe that's very much important, that you have some kind of goals in your life. We are not talking about here a 10 years kind of plan and everything's structured, and it's not about that. It's about being aware that when you don't have any goals, you feel a bit lost. When you have goals, you understand that your body, your mind, your soul, they always have a goal. They always want to experience something. Now the question is, what do you want to experience? So number one is, when you're trying to understand, okay, what do I want to experience in my life? What kind of goals do I want to experience? Now, it could be anything, really, literally anything. It could be that you're searching after a partner. It could be that you are trying to get another job. It could be that you are an entrepreneur. It could be that you are looking for a new apartment. It could be that you are studying and you're trying to finish your studies. It could be something with your children, maybe that you want to raise them a certain way, or it could be that you're trying to make another conversation towards your family, that you want to connect with them deeper. It could be that you are trying to, even for yourself, that you are getting more a personal development kind of goal. It could be that you want your body to look another way. It could be that you are more healthy. It could be that you are cooking way more healthier. It could be so many things. So these are just a few topics that you can actually take. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. It's your goal, not my goal and not someone else. And it doesn't matter how big or how small it is. That has nothing to do with it. Now, I suggest you to start with 1 to 3 goals, because we want to focus on them. And if you now write down, like, let's say 10 different goals, it's really hard to keep up. Okay, now start with writing down between 1 and 3 goals, and the goals should be as specified as possible. And I need you to write them down, because as you know, it's always the thought, then the talking, and then the action. Okay, we need those 3 in order to get the goal rolling in, coming into your life. If you don't do those 3 steps, if you believe that you can just have it in your thoughts and you don't write it down, you don't speak it out loud, that's not gonna work. It's always the thought, then the speaking, or the writing and then the action. And that's because our brain works that kind of way that we have so many thoughts, but we don't write down so many things. So the weight of speaking is just way higher than only the thought. But even the thought is already quite big. So how many times you think about something, imagine how something can make you feel really miserable or really positive when you just think about it. Now with the goals it's exactly the same, but we want to go one step further. We want to reach the goal, okay? We don't want to feel it only, we want to reach the goal. So I ask you in the step number 1 to get a journal, write that down, write it down as exact as possible. Now I want you to write down, when do you want to reach that goal? What kind of goal do you want to reach? Then I want to make sure that you are a bit specific in a sense of, if you're trying to, let's say, lose weight, how much kilos do you want to lose? If you want to cook healthier, well, how is that going to look like? What do you want? What is it that you desire? Okay, what are you looking for? So write that down as clear as possible with a timestamp, don't forget. And then I would say, give yourself some time, sit down, do that, give yourself some time, and then come back to this video. There is one little note here, one little side note. Make sure that what you write down is actually in your belief of possibilities. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm not saying that something isn't realistic for you, but if you write something down that you feel absolutely isn't possible for you, then this goal isn't realistic. And for maybe someone else it is, but for you at the moment it's not. Now I want you to be successful in those kind of steps, and I want you to get first the motivation, get first the steps, how you do it, and then go a bit higher. But as a first kind of thing, a first kind of step, don't go all over crazy. Okay, you need to consider that this is possible for you. Even with a bit of, let's say, playing big, okay? But don't play as big as flying in the air somewhere. That's not okay. That's not what we are looking for at the moment, okay? All right. Very, very good. I'm so proud of you. I know that can be really tricky, that number 1, because sometimes it's really hard. What do I actually want in my life, right? How do I want to, live my life? That's not an easy question. And so I understand when this took you some time to actually digest, okay? So if you were just scrolling now to see what is next, go back to number 1 and maybe listen to it one more time just to be very, very clear, okay? Number 1 is really important to understand. Now, number 2 is the big why, okay? And many people fail here. Now, what is your why? Why do you want to achieve that? Why do you want to experience that in your life? And it's not for someone else. So if you believe that, it will bring you success and that's why everyone else around you will be pleased, that's not the kind of goal I want from you. I want the goal where you feel happy and successful and you have your big why. As example, you always wanted to have this kind of job, this kind of position, and you are living your dream now and it feels so good. You feel really well with the team, you have a great experience, you feel that you're learning something, you feel that every morning is really easy, and that's what you want. That's your big whys, because it will make you really happy. I want that you are very, very clear on your why. Why do you want to be, let's say, an entrepreneur? Why is that your goal? Make your why the strongest thing ever. I want you to be really, really clear. And when you do that, put it together as a kind of motivator, okay? Because every single time you are ready to give up, this will help you to stay focused. Because when you have a goal behind the goal, then you are actually ready to move towards that goal because you have the drive. What we need from you is to create that kind of drive of why you want to go there. If that is not really big, you will never make it. Never. Your why needs to be strong as hell. Okay? Let's put it that way. Very, very strong. Now I want you to write that down as well on that same letter. Write it below of your goal. And if you wrote everything down on your phone, then of course write it down on your phone, even though I suggest you really to have the journal with the paper and write it down because the effect is different. Now take your time, do that step right now. Welcome back. Now number 3 is the how are you getting there? Now I want you to think about strategies you used for the past goals you wanted to achieve. What has really worked for you really, really well? Now, if, for example, if you're trying to get a new job, what did you do to find the previous jobs you liked? Or if you wanted to lose weight, as example, what have you done? What did work for you? What has already worked? Now, this step is important because it's about taking strategies that already worked, where you have proof that it works. And if you don't have them, or if you're just trying to, nothing really worked so far, then I believe that's not true. I'm sure that you have done something in your life where you're very proud of. Now go back there and start to think of your strategies you use there, because they are there, okay? We all have them. We all know how it works, okay? Now, when you're trying to understand on how you can get there, there are a few things involved. What we want in the first place is do as less work possible, as big results, okay? We don't want this work and this result, okay? Or getting closer here. What we want is to make as less effort as possible to get there. In a healthy way, of course. Don't overdo it in a sense of you're just not eating any food anymore. That's not what we want to do here. What we really try to do is to get you as fast as possible to the first kind of results, to the first kind of steps. Why? Because I want you to experience the success steps very, very quickly. When you see a success, what does it give you? Exactly, some motivation, some good positive feedback, right? Because it worked. And that's what we are trying here to get, okay? We want a positive outcome as soon as possible to keep you on track, to keep you motivated, to keep you ready, to get you going, okay? And that's very much important for this step. So take your paper again and write down how are you managing to get there. I want you to be as clear as possible. I want to know, when are you doing what? What should be the outcome? And how can you measure it? Okay? How can you measure that it worked or it didn't work? I want you to be very clear to write that down, because it will help you to see, here I made some results. Here I made some results, and here I made some results. And that will give you the positive outcome we want. It will not give you all the way through yet, because we aren't there yet. So I want to know, I want to hear, share your comments already. I want to know how you're doing that. Are you regularly doing something like this with me? Are you doing that in your private life? Share your comments. And then I would say, you go ahead, you do your step, and then wait until the next step, okay? Get that done first, and then go on the next line. Now we come to step number 4. And so far you have written down what your goal is, you found your big why, and also you have written down how you can get there. Now what I want from you is the part, and that's a bit hard, okay? It's a bit tricky, so don't be too hard on yourself. I want to know why it didn't work so far yet. Why didn't you reach that goal? Why didn't you find the job you'd like? Why didn't you get the partner you wanted? Why didn't you get the body you wanted? Why are you not eating healthy when that was your goal? Why did it not work? I want you to be as honest as possible, okay? And this can be really hard because most of the time we are standing right in front and we are not able to do it because there is something inside of us holding us back. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's anger, maybe it's being afraid of what will people say, okay? And those kind of answers I want to hear now. I want to see why it didn't happen so far. Now, I don't want you to get over them yet. I want you to be clear. I want you to write down why it didn't happen so far. Be as honest as possible. Listen to your heart, mind, and soul. I want to know why it didn't work, okay? Your deepest why. Because most of the time, it's not just because we were lazy. It's never because we are lazy. Because when we have a goal, when we have a mission, we are ready to rock. So, but then, why didn't it work? If the mission is so strong, what was holding you back? And that's most of the time why people start to fail, because they're not getting over that step. They're trying and trying and trying, but they don't realize that this is holding them back. And it doesn't work if you're just telling yourself, that's not real. Well, for you it is very, very real, okay? And you're not getting over that. You're not being, or you will not be ready to make your goal in your world if that isn't clear. Now, again, I want you to write down your why it didn't happen yet. Why weren't you able to get it done? And please be honest. No one is gonna read it. Be as honest as possible. Write everything down that comes into your mind, even though if it may sound a bit silly, if it may be a bit like weird, it doesn't matter. Everything that comes into your mind from that question, write it down. It's very important that you get that clear, okay? Get that clear, and then after that, only after that, we go to the next video. Very good. I'm so proud of you. I know how much courage that needs to get actually to the big why it didn't happen yet. Now, what we want is to get that beliefs clear. We are going to have a deep dive here, and a deep dive into your emotions, okay? Now, when we want to overcome something, because the only reason now why we're doing this is if we are trying to reach our goals the same way than before, then we are never going to reach anything. So you will get the same feedback over and over again of it's not happening, it's not happening, it's not happening. And at one moment you will just, just say, well, it just didn't work. Cannot do anything. Now, I don't want you to go there. I want you to overcome those beliefs. And when we overcome those beliefs, we can actually move forward. We can transform them, okay? What we are trying here is to transform your belief so we can move forward, finally, okay? Now I want you to leave those behind. There are several other videos on how you can do that on my channel, so go and check them out. Now, just as a short note, you have to go really deep into them and heal them from inside out. The healing part is inside you, not outside. Okay? If you want to overcome them, however, how silly they may look like, there is a pain involved, and you have to find why the pain is there. Why is the pain attached to it? And what is it that you want to release here? What is it that you want to heal? Okay, there are many meditations who will help you, who will guide you through that. And also, when you're trying to transform your belief system, what is it that you want to have instead? Can you transform them? Can you make some affirmations? Can you change them? Most of the time, this has to do with our inner child. It has to do how we grew up. Now, I did a whole other video on that, and that's going to help you to understand why you actually even have those belief systems. And once you cleared that, once this is really clear for you and you can let go, you can forgive, you can heal it. Remember, if someone else was involved and always telling you that you cannot reach something and that your belief system is now trained to believe that you're not successful, as example, then you need to understand that that person, you're not forgiving them so that they can hurt you again. You're forgiving them because you know that you want to move forward. It's for your own happiness, not for theirs, for yours. And in addition, you don't need that person back. But back then, this time was there, and you have to accept it how it was. You have to let go and you have to forgive. Most of the time, it's also involved with forgiving ourselves for not being able to have it reached yet, okay? Maybe you failed already terribly before, and now you're trying to understand how you can manage that if you never had any success. You have to forgive yourself because you did the best you could, okay? We are always doing the best we can in that particular situation, because if you would have known better, you would have done better, and therefore you would have other results. And now you know better, that's why you do better, and that's why you get better results, okay? So don't be too hard on yourself. Try to be as gentle as possible with an open heart and stay focused, okay? What we are trying to do here is to overcome that, okay? So be patient and stay tuned for the next step. Yay! Number 6, you have almost made it. Congratulations. Now number 6 is a checking list, okay? And that list will give you an advice on where do we need some adjustments. Now these adjustments are important because in the beginning you wrote down on how you can reach the goal. Now you wrote also down what the measurement is. I want you to see whether you reached that goal or not. And if you haven't reached it, you have to do those adjustments. You have to make sure that you are maintaining those kind of things, because what you wrote there isn't in stone. but it gives you a guideline on how to proceed further. And if you see that it's not working, then you have to do an adjustment. And when I say adjustment, means that you just have to do or start to try to do some stuff differently. Maybe even you have to extend the time you gave yourself, because you realize that's not realistic in that kind of period to find this or that, or to whatever it is. Make the adjustments, make sure to be a bit more creative, make sure to understand, okay, what can I actually do? Are there maybe people in my life who can help me? Are there people who have more experience than me? Can I ask them? Stay creative. What would help you? And make sure to get advice from people who have already done it, because that makes it so much easier for you. Alright, we are on the end of this video. If you liked my video, then I'm very happy if you share your feedback. Best way to do that is on Instagram, or even right here down below on YouTube. And share your feedback, what has helped you especially. I want to know where you maybe had some troubles as well. What was something that you say, okay, I need more infos on? Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious to hear. If you're looking for a one-on-one coaching, then of course that is possible. You find all the details for that right below. And then I would say, have a lovely day, and we speak really soon. Tschüss!